Basically, I've been watching a lot of things to do with God and the creation of the universe, and whether science is right and whether uh, theists are right. Uh, you got theists, they talk about if the universe was created from nothing, then that means time is infinite. Then it means if nothing came from nothing, then there's always been this nothing waiting to happen. So there's no beginning. And if there's no beginning, that doesn't make sense because you can't have infinity. So their idea is that there has to be a beginning, and for there to be this beginning, a God had to be there. But you see, this doesn't even explain it, because then that means this God that they believe in is infinite, and in either way, you have to accept that the universe, or for us to be here, something has to be infinite. Now, I've just you trying to get your head around the idea of something being infinite instantly makes you think it just doesn't make sense. There has to be a start, but there can't be a start, because no matter what reason you give for that start, it's never gonna make complete sense unless you can accept that infinite or infinity has to play out in some way or another. So if you, let's say we put religion, or not religion, but the idea of where they believe in the afterlife or living again, so like reincarnation, and where science says, well, this obviously this can't happen, but then this is the argument that goes on and on and on. What if it's somewhere in the middle? Because no matter what, through history, there's always a lot of ideas, and then somewhere the truth or the best idea falls somewhere in the middle. Whether you believe in God created man in His image, or you believe in, you can't believe in evolution because evolution is pretty much fact. So, but whether you believe in one, before people didn't know, they had ideas, and then it kind of falls within the middle when you know. But let's say the universe is infinite. How it takes billions and billions and billions of years to get to whatever it's expanding into, but let's say eventually it has to die, and then maybe another universe is created, or maybe there's millions or an infinite number of just reborn universes constantly within just an endless amount of space. Or even if there is a limited amount of space, but that in itself doesn't make sense, because how can there be a cap on the space that we're expanding into? It's just, if there's nothing there, then there are no boundaries. But I mean, this can boggle your mind, but there has to be some some way of explaining how infinite can be. So if you say that you being alive in the time that you're alive now, rather than being alive in the Roman times, or the infinite amount of people that have been alive or could be alive, there could be another way of looking at that. So when you die, there is no time, and until you're living, there's no time, and it's only once you become alive that time starts ticking. But then when you die, the billions of years that it takes for a universe to create, it is nothing to you because you're dead. But if it's like a probability that you will be alive, whether it's on this planet, another planet, these possibilities will play out every time the universe begins through this infinite structure of universes. So this universe will die, and then because the universe as we know it is infinite, not just the universe we're in, but what the universe expands into, because that has to be infinite for us to be here. Once our universe dies and comes back to fruition, it could be inevitable that you will be reborn again, whether it's at the beginning of humanity or at the end of humanity, or if humanity gets further than what it got this time into our existence. But it will play out in an infinite way. You could have different parents, but your parents will also be alive at some stage, but they just wouldn't be your parents in that time scale, because time is infinite. You yourself with your consciousness might be infinite, I mean, it's just an idea. It's not really thought through too much, but everything, every possibility has to be infinite. There is no other explanation for how we are here. Something has to be infinite, or the beginning doesn't make sense for there to just be a start, because in a way that's ridiculous, because then there could never be an end. Because if a universe can start from nothing, then when it dies out, that is nothing again. So something will have to start from that nothing. So it's infinite. If it dies, it has to be reborn. It's just the way the universe has come about. So surely, without doubt now, in my head, universe, or the beginning of universes, is an infinite thing played out over and over and over again. And maybe this is where these beliefs fall kind of